Death of a dynasty. The brutal end of the Romanov family. In the crucible of the Bolshevik Revolution, the Romanovs, Russia's former royal family, met a tragic and brutal end. This act of violence, carried out in a secluded cellar in 1918, marked the violent demise of the Romanov dynasty, a centuries-old lineage that had ruled Russia with an iron fist. The murders, shrouded in secrecy and fueled by revolutionary fervor, cast a long shadow over Russian history and served as a stark symbol of the revolution's ruthless nature. The stage for this tragic drama was set in the turbulent city of Yekaterinburg, far from the opulent halls of St. Petersburg. Nicholas II, the last Tsar of Russia, had abdicated his throne in March 1917, a crumbling colossus swept away by the tide of revolution. He and his family, imprisoned by the provisional government, were later transferred to Yekaterinburg, their fate hanging in the balance. As the Bolsheviks tightened their grip on power, the Romanov family became a symbol of the old regime, a living embodiment of the past they sought to destroy. Rumors swirled about potential escape attempts and foreign intervention to restore the Tsar. Fear and paranoia, potent ingredients in the revolutionary cauldron, fueled the decision to eliminate the royal family. On a cold July night in 1918, a group of Bolshevik executioners descended upon the Apotiev house, a makeshift prison for the Romanov family. The Tsar, his wife Alexandra, their 5 children, and a handful of loyal retainers were herded into a cramped basement. Under the cover of darkness, and with chilling efficiency, the executioners unleashed a hail of bullets, ending the lives of the imperial family in a burst of violence. The murders of the Romanovs were an act of calculated brutality. Not only did they eliminate potential rallying points for counter-revolutionaries, but they also served as a chilling message to the aristocracy and anyone who dared oppose the new Bolshevik regime. The bodies were hastily disposed of, their remains hidden and scattered, a final act of humiliation for a once powerful dynasty. The news of the murders, though initially shrouded in secrecy, sent shockwaves across Russia and the world. The brutal and undignified end of the royal family tarnished the image of the revolution for some, highlighting its ruthless streak and raising questions about its legitimacy. For others, the murders were a necessary act of revolution, a permanent severing of ties with the past. The legacy of the Romanov murders remains a topic of debate. They serve as a stark reminder of the violent nature of revolutions, the ease with which ideals can be twisted to justify bloodshed. The murders also highlight the complexities of the Russian Revolution, its descent from a fight for social justice into a power struggle marked by brutality. The echoes of this tragedy continue to resonate in the halls of history. The murder of the Romanov family serve as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the dangers of unchecked violence in the pursuit of political goals. They offer a glimpse into the dark side of revolutions, the potential for chaos and human cost amidst the struggle for a new world order. A tide turned. The 100 Days Offensive. In the final months of the war, a flicker of hope emerged from the blood-soaked trenches of the Western Front. The 100 Days Offensive. This relentless series of Allied attacks, launched in August 1918, aimed to shatter the German stalemate and deliver a decisive blow. Through a potent combination of innovative tactics, fresh troops, and a renewed sense of purpose, the Allies pushed back the German war machine with unrelenting force, ultimately hastening the end of the Great War. The stage for this epic drama was set on the war-torn plains of northern France, a landscape already scarred by years of trench warfare. The initial German offensives of 1918 had threatened to break Allied lines, leaving the war seemingly deadlocked. However, the tide was beginning to turn. American troops were arriving in force, bolstering Allied manpower reserves. New strategies, emphasizing combined arms tactics and exploiting German vulnerabilities, were being developed. On a scorching August morning in 1918, the curtain rose on the offensive. The Battle of Army N, a thunderous clash of artillery and infantry, marked the opening act. British and Canadian forces, utilizing tanks and creeping barrages, tore through German defenses, achieving an unprecedented level of tactical success. This initial victory shattered German morale and emboldened the Allies. The 100 Days Offensive was not a single, decisive battle, but rather a series of interconnected assaults. From Army N, the offensive spread like wildfire across the Western Front. French, American, and British forces, fueled by a sense of momentum, launched attacks with renewed vigor. German defenses, stretched thin and exhausted, began to crumble under the relentless pressure. The impact of the 100 Days Offensive transcended the realm of mere territorial gains. It served as a psychological turning point. The once invincible German army, undefeated on the Western Front for years, was revealed to be fallible. Desertion rates rose within German ranks, and a sense of defeatism began to permeate the officer corps. However, the offensive came at a significant cost. The fighting was brutal, with casualties mounting on both sides. The Allies, despite their tactical innovations, were not immune to the devastating effects of trench warfare. The relentless push forward was fueled by sheer force of will and a desperate yearning for an end to the war. By November 1918, the momentum of the offensive had proven unstoppable. German forces, facing internal dissent and a crumbling military machine, were forced to sue for peace. The 100 Days Offensive, a testament to Allied resolve and strategic adaptation, had delivered the knockout blow in a war that had dragged on for years. The legacy of the 100 Days Offensive is far-reaching. It is a case study in the evolution of warfare during the Great War, highlighting the importance of combined arms tactics and the devastating impact of artillery barrages. It underscores the critical role of fresh manpower in sustaining offensive operations and the importance of morale in the face of prolonged conflict. The echoes of this epic offensive continue to resonate in the halls of military history. The 100 Days Offensive serves as a reminder of the potential for innovation to turn the tide of a war, and the enduring human cost of territorial disputes. It stands as a testament to the unwavering determination of the Allied forces in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds, and their ultimate triumph over a seemingly invincible foe. A desert triumph. The capture of Damascus. As the tide began to turn in Europe, another daring operation unfolded across the sands of Arabia. The capture of Damascus. This audacious maneuver, spearheaded by the Australian Mounted Division and Prince Faisal's Arab forces, wrested the jewel of Syria from Ottoman control and marked a turning point in the Middle Eastern theater. The capture of Damascus, a potent cocktail of strategic brilliance, daring horsemanship, and the simmering embers of Arab nationalism, reshaped the political landscape and cast a long shadow over the region's future. The stage for this desert drama was set across the vast expanse of the Ottoman Empire, a sprawling web of territories stretching from the Mediterranean to the Persian Gulf. The Ottoman grip on the region, particularly Syria, had long been a source of discontent amongst Arab populations. The outbreak of the First World War presented an opportunity for both sides. The British, seeking to disrupt Ottoman control and secure vital trade routes, and the Hashemite Arabs, yearning for autonomy and a unified Arab nation. Enter the Australian Mounted Division, a formidable force of courageous horsemen perfectly suited for the desert terrain. Led by the redoubtable Lieutenant General Harry Chauvel, they had already distinguished themselves in earlier campaigns, their mobility and tactical acumen proving invaluable against entrenched Ottoman positions. Alongside them rode Prince Faisal's Arab forces, fueled by a desire to liberate their homeland from Ottoman rule. In September 1918, with the tide of the war turning decisively against the Ottomans, British forces launched a series of offensives across Palestine. The capture of Damascus became a pivotal objective, a symbolic prize and a strategic gateway to the north. General Allenby, the commander of the Egyptian Expeditionary Force, tasked Chauvel's Mounted Division with a daring maneuver, a rapid advance through the desert to outflank Ottoman defenses and isolate Damascus. On a scorching September day, the curtain rose on this audacious gamble. The Australian Mounted Division, accompanied by a contingent of Arab fighters, embarked on a grueling desert odyssey. They navigated scorching temperatures, treacherous terrain, and dwindling supplies, their determination fueled by the promise of a swift victory. Meanwhile, British forces engaged the Ottomans in a series of frontal assaults, pinning down their defenses and paving the way for the cavalry charge. The capture of Damascus itself was a masterpiece of desert warfare. On a crisp October morning, a patrol from the 4th Light Horse Regiment reached the outskirts of the city, achieving a symbolic first. Following close behind, the 10th Light Horse Regiment thundered into Damascus, encountering minimal resistance from a surprised and demoralized Ottoman garrison. Prince Faisal's Arab forces, welcomed as liberators, entered the city shortly thereafter. The capture of Damascus reverberated far beyond the immediate battlefield. It marked a symbolic blow to Ottoman prestige and signaled the weakening grip of the empire on its Arab territories. For the Arab populations, it fueled aspirations for self-determination, raising hopes for a united Arab nation. However, these aspirations would soon clash with the geopolitical ambitions of both the British and the French, leading to a complex web of mandates and the carving up of the region in the aftermath of the war. The echoes of this desert triumph continue to resonate in the halls of history. The capture of Damascus serves as a reminder of the importance of strategic innovation and daring maneuvers in warfare. It highlights the power of cavalry in the age of mechanized warfare and the enduring legacy of human courage in the face of harsh conditions. Above all, it stands as a potent symbol of the Arab yearning for autonomy, a struggle that continues to shape the complex political landscape of the Middle East. A flickering flame extinguished, the Armistice of Mudros and the fall of the Ottoman Empire. Signed on a rain-swept Ottoman warship in October 1918, the Armistice of Mudros marked the dramatic fall of a mighty empire and the end of Ottoman hostilities in the Great War. The Armistice of Mudros, a document steeped in the exhaustion of war and the shifting sands of geopolitics, reshaped the map of the Middle East and ushered in a new era of uncertainty. The stage for this dramatic denouement was set on the decaying decks of the Ottoman Navy's flagship, the Mudros, anchored in the harbor of Lemnos. The once proud Ottoman Empire, embroiled in a brutal conflict on multiple fronts for over 4 years, was on the brink of collapse. Defeats on the Eastern Front against the Russians and the relentless pressure of the British-led forces in Palestine had exposed the vulnerabilities of the Ottoman war machine. Across the negotiating table sat the Allied powers, a coalition united in their desire to see the Ottoman Empire defeated. Exhausted by the war's immense human and material cost, they sought a swift end to hostilities in the Middle East. The terms of the armistice were harsh, reflecting the Ottomans' weakened position. Demobilization of the Ottoman army, surrender of strategic territories, and Allied occupation of key ports were just some of the demands placed on the defeated empire. The signing of the Armistice of Mudros was a momentous occasion, a punctuation mark in a brutal conflict that had ravaged Europe and the Middle East. The once feared Ottoman Empire, a power that had dominated the region for centuries, was effectively dismembered. Its vast territories became bargaining chips in the hands of the victorious Allies, sowing the seeds for future conflict over the spoils of war. The consequences of the Armistice of Mudros were far-reaching. The once unified Ottoman domain was fractured, paving the way for the creation of new nation-states in the Middle East. However, the arbitrary carving up of the region based on colonial ambitions, rather than ethnic or religious considerations, fueled tensions and instability that continue to resonate today. The impact of the armistice extended beyond the political realm. The collapse of the Ottoman Empire triggered a social and cultural upheaval. For many minorities within the empire, the armistice offered a glimmer of hope for self-determination. However, these aspirations were often dashed by the realities of Allied power politics and the emergence of new nationalisms. The legacy of the Armistice of Mudros remains a subject of debate. Some view it as a necessary act that brought an end to a devastating war. Others see it as a catalyst for instability, a document that laid the groundwork for future conflicts in the Middle East. The armistice serves as a stark reminder of the consequences of unchecked nationalism and the fragility of empires in the face of relentless warfare. The echoes of this pivotal moment continue to reverberate in the halls of history. The Armistice of Mudros stands as a symbol of the downfall of empires, the birth pangs of new nations, and the enduring power struggles that continue to shape the complex political landscape of the Middle East. A world trembles, the guns fall silent. The Armistice of November 1918. Signed in a railway carriage shrouded in the chill of a French autumn, the Armistice of November 11, 1918 marked the cessation of hostilities on the Western Front, bringing a curtain down on the brutal spectacle of the First World War. The Armistice, a fragile hope born from exhaustion and despair, signaled the end of an era and ushered in a future fraught with uncertainty. The stage for this solemn drama was set amidst the ravaged landscape of northern France. Trenches, once teeming with life and death, lay silent testaments to the immense cost of the war. Both sides, their resources depleted and their populations weary, yearned for an end to the carnage. Negotiations, draped in the cloak of secrecy, had been underway for weeks, a desperate scramble to staunch the bleeding before another winter descended. On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, the curtain rose on this pivotal moment. Marshal Ferdinand Foch, the Allied Supreme Commander, received the German delegation in a railway carriage stationed in the heart of the Compiègne forest. The atmosphere was thick with tension, the weight of millions of lives lost hanging heavy in the air. The terms of the armistice were harsh, reflecting the utter defeat of the German Empire. Immediate withdrawal from occupied territories, disarmament on a massive scale, and the surrender of vast quantities of war materiel were just a few of the demands placed upon the defeated nation. The armistice was not a peace treaty, but a prelude to one, a fragile ceasefire born from desperation rather than reconciliation. The impact of the Armistice of November 1918 transcended the immediate cessation of hostilities. The world, scarred and forever changed, emerged from the shadows of the Great War. Empires crumbled, new nations were forged, and the seeds of future conflicts were sown. The legacy of this armistice remains a subject of intense debate. For some, it marked a triumphant victory, a testament to the resilience of the Allied forces. For others, it was a flawed solution, a document that failed to address the root causes of the war and paved the way for future instability. The armistice serves as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of unchecked nationalism and the immense human cost of global conflict. The echoes of this pivotal moment continue to resonate in the halls of history. The Armistice of November 11, 1918 stands as a symbol of a world forever altered, a poignant reminder of the fragility of peace, and the enduring struggle to prevent a repeat of the Great War's horrific toll. A festering wound, the Treaty of Versailles and the seeds of discord. In the opulent halls of the Palace of Versailles, a shadow fell upon a nascent peace. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, this document, meant to formally end the First World War, cast a long shadow. The treaty, a potent cocktail of punitive measures and idealistic aspirations, sowed the seeds of discontent in Germany and reshaped the geopolitical landscape of Europe. The Treaty of Versailles, a document drenched in the bitterness of war and the anxieties of a new era, became a symbol of resentment and a catalyst for future conflict. The stage for this contentious drama was set in the opulent halls of Versailles, a palace that once symbolized French grandeur. The victors of the Great War, the United States, Britain, France, and Italy, gathered to dictate the terms of peace to a defeated Germany. The atmosphere was thick with suspicion and a yearning for vengeance, a stark contrast to the joyous celebrations envisioned in the early days of the war. The terms of the treaty were harsh, a reflection of the Allies' desire to cripple German power and prevent future aggression. Territorial losses, crippling reparations, and limitations on military capabilities were just some of the burdens imposed upon the defeated nation. The treaty, crafted in the heat of victory, failed to consider the long-term consequences of such punitive measures. The impact of the Treaty of Versailles was far-reaching. In Germany, the treaty was seen as a humiliating diktat, a betrayal of the nation's honor and a stranglehold on its future. The crushing reparations payments fueled economic instability, hyperinflation, and social unrest. The resentment festered, creating fertile ground for the rise of extremist ideologies like Nazism. The treaty also had a profound impact on the international order. The redrawing of national boundaries, often based on practicality rather than ethnicity, created new tensions and fostered minority grievances. The League of Nations, established by the treaty as a mechanism for maintaining peace, lacked the power and unity to prevent future conflicts. The legacy of the Treaty of Versailles remains a subject of fierce debate. Some view it as a necessary punishment for German aggression. Others argue it was a flawed document that fueled resentment and ultimately contributed to the outbreak of the Second World War. The treaty serves as a stark reminder of the challenges of crafting a lasting peace after a devastating war, and the dangers of neglecting the long-term consequences of punitive measures. The echoes of this contentious agreement continue to resonate in the halls of history. The Treaty of Versailles stands as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the fragility of peace built on vengeance and the enduring consequences of unresolved grievances. The treaty serves as a stark lesson in the importance of fostering reconciliation and addressing the root causes of conflict to prevent the cycle of violence from perpetuating. This is the final chapter of the First World War series. In future series we will cover the interwar years, including the Russian Civil War and the Great Depression, as well as the rise of fascism in Europe.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.